Okay, today we're going to do the regression assignment, and I'm going to do it for the example student. So I click on Form, and here's my assignment. I can view the example assignment, but I'm doing the actual assignment, which will be different than yours. Step 1, I'm going to copy the table. I'm going to open an Excel file. I'm going to paste the data that I just copied into the Excel file. And I'm going to compute y prime, y minus y prime, and y minus y prime squared later on with SPSS. And I'm just going to save this on my desktop. And I'm going to call it temp, because I'm only going to need it for a short period of time. Okay, I no longer need this. I'm going to pull up SPSS, a blank data file. I'm going to go to File, Open, Data. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to look for an Excel file. And there it is. I'm going to open it. I do have variable names in the first row. So this is my data file. I'm going to do a little bit of editing just to make it a little bit nicer. So I go to the variable view. I'll put in ID just to give it a name. We don't really want any decimals here. And let's just make these 5. Back to our data view. A little bit cleaner. It looks like I've got an extra row on here. I'll just clear that one. So now I've got 20 rows, variable names X and Y. We'll go back to our now we've got our data in there. We'll look and see what we have to do. The assignment. Okay, so we want to find the mean and the standard deviation of the X and Y variables, intercept, slope, and basically fill out this table. We can do that pretty easily. Going back to our SPSS, our data set. And the first thing we'll do is we'll just click on Analyze, Regression, Linear, pulling up our assignment. The dependent is going to be Y. The independent is going to be X. We don't really need anything down here for right now, but we do have some save. And we want to save the unstandardized predicted values, the unstandardized residuals, and just click OK. So we have a lot of what we need right now. We've got our standard error of estimate. We've got the R, which in this case, well, let's do that just for the heck of it. analyze, correlate, bivariate, just X and Y. Just click OK. And we get a correlation of -0.600. Okay, so we've got a correlation. We've got pretty much everything we need. So we can go back to our SPSS data file, and we see that we have predicted, which is y prime, minus, or y minus y prime. So the predicted value is y prime, or the predicted y, and the residual is the difference between the observed and the predicted. That is the difference between y and y prime. In order to create our data table, we're going to need to create a new variable. So we'll go to transform, compute, and let's just call this the residual squared. And that will take the unstandardized residual and times itself. Click OK. So now we have residual squared. So now our table matches that of what we need in the assignment. And we can go over here and start answering some of the questions. What is the predicted y for the first score? 86 point, we could just do it up here. Paste it. What is the squared residual for the last score? 2.43. What is the correlation coefficient? Going back to our SPSS output, we said that was -0.600. What is the intercept? Again, we'll go back to our SPSS output, and it looks like the intercept is 108.355. What is the slope? And that would be -0.432. What is the sum of the squared residuals? And we're going to have to do a little work for that. And to find that, we could go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Descriptives. We'll put residual squared as the variable we want to find. And go to Options. We don't really want the mean or the standard deviation, rather we want the sum. Continue. Okay. Now looking at our output, we get 1,22344. 223.44. What is the standard error of estimate? We found that earlier. 8.244. What is the y predicted where x is equal to 75? Okay, so now we're going to need our calculator. First we multiply the slope, which is 0.432 times our x value, which is 75. We'll change the sign, and to that we'll add our intercept, which is 108.355, and we get 75.955. Okay, now we want to find the confidence interval around this value. And we know that this confidence interval is, and we'll go to our probability calculator, and we want to find normal curve confidence interval. Mu will be the predicted value of y, where x is equal to 75. We just found that. That's 75.955. Sigma will be the standard error of estimate, 8.244. The probability is going to be 0.95, and we get our confidence interval of 59.797. So that's our lower limit. And our upper limit will be 92.113. Looks like we have all our answers. Let's see how we did. So we'll submit this assignment. We'll view the answer key. Matches what we have. And this is how we do the regression assignment.